can't believe I'm back addressing this, but hey, the work of Dr. Spreadsheets is never over. Hey, young world, what's up, peoples? It's your boy MM2K. I'm back with another one, special edition of the medicine, you know what I'm saying? I come here to drop something heavy. Now, I'm not fully out of hiatus yet. I will be back soon. Stay tuned for that one. But I'm here to address the 20-ton elephant / gorilla neck behemoth in the road. And that's media bias. Yes, it's reared its ugly head. And I've already dealt with this. I've already vaccinated this. Put the rest of it in the freezer. And I got to pull it back out because apparently some of y'all was just dwelling in the sewers instead of coming getting these doses. So come sit your ass down. Come get this medicine. All right? But before we go deep into that, do me a favor, please. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for notifications. It helps your boy a lot. Makes it possible for me to provide you with these doses. I appreciate all y'all straight up. All right, here's the deal. Let's finish this once and for all. Is there media bias? Yes, absolutely there's media bias. Look, man, there's no way around it. There's no way to escape it. When you have situations where the media can tell Sony that it's okay that they don't have games at any period of time because there are hidden sales. However, and they tell it to Sony like the average PlayStation enthusiast can grab a sales chart, hook it up to the HDMI and go pew 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 in the corner. No! PlayStation enthusiasts are diehard upon having large number of games. We know this. They look for these games from day one. That's why they are part of the PlayStation ecosystem. But even knowing that, you give Sony a pass, but yet when Microsoft is in the same boat, even though their diehards tell you that they lean more towards the features and the services. They tell you this all the time. Even though games are still number one, they lean more on features and services more than any other gamers in any other ecosystem. Despite that fact, you give them a hard time, but you give Sony a pass. That's bias. Also, we can talk about the disrespect to the Xbox execs. You know what I'm saying? Curse them out on Twitter. Disrespect them during unboxings. Yet when you're around the Sony execs, you know what I'm saying, you treat them, you worship the ground they walk on like they the reincarnation of John Lennon or something. You know what I mean? Come on, stop it. And if we want to go on the last shit, let's go on the last shit. Let's talk about the fact that, even though the PlayStation 3 was double the price and it performed worse with 95% of the multiplats, people were still told to buy the system early on, not because it did anything well, but because it looked good on paper. The core system looks good on paper, even though whatever it looked good on paper wasn't going to come to fruition for the gamers. Still buy it because we just emotionally don't want to see the PlayStation last. However, when the Xbox One was only $100 more, only for 6 months, they only was down 180p until the X came out, and they upgraded the S to the S model, and they had more games than their competitor. You don't give them a pass. Where's the people coming out in droves saying, no, don't turn your back on the Xbox One? No. What they do instead, they rated the systems upon launch. Who does that? The biased media does that, okay? So we can talk about media bias there and there out and argue this all the way. Look, it exists. It is what it is. Now, where does it come from? Let's talk about that. First place, you got to remember, all these reviewers, these IGNs, these Giant Bombs, these Game Spots, and all these other places, they are the children that grew up during the PlayStation generation. Now they're grown up and now they have these gigs. That's where they come from. You know what I'm saying? Sony's has such an emotional grip on them that's paramount, opposed to me, an old school gamer who I'm used to the guard changing every 3 or 4 years. Like, for instance, I'm from the ColecoVision era, but when I had my NES, I love my NES, hated the Sega Master System. When the Genesis came out, I hated the Super Nintendo, loved the Genesis. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold no flag with no company. I just follow the games that I like. I go where the games are at. You know what I'm saying? And the games that I like were on the Genesis stuff. I don't hold no flag for nobody because they're not paying me. Okay? But Sony has created a genre of gamers that are just unparalleled to anything that we've ever seen, and they have such an emotional grasp on them, and they feel like they owe something to Sony. All right. Also, Microsoft is just a hated company. They've been hated since the 90s. This is nothing new. This ain't got nothing to do with gaming because of their monopolizing practices, swallowing up businesses, and this is to their own detriment. People hated them. So, and you see it all the time. Talk about how the evil Microsoft is trying to take over the world. So, if you combine both worlds, say you're that kid gamer, and you're just playing your PlayStation because you love it. You love your PlayStation. Ain't nothing better than your PlayStation. And yet you're hearing your parents talk bad about Microsoft. You're hearing all the adults say Microsoft's so horrible, so bad. It don't mean nothing to you yet because you're just focused on your games. You're a kid. Now Microsoft has infiltrated your passion, your love for gaming. and they're trying to infiltrate and do their thing. You've already been predisposed to all this negative information about them. So you're already predisposed to hate them before they even drop anything. See what I'm saying? So with that being said, media bias, does it exist? Absolutely. But hold on. With that being said, Xbox fanboy, don't go clapping off like a baby still talking about MM2K is back. Oh, hell no, chief. We need to ask ourselves the real question. Is media bias an excuse? It doesn't even matter. And the answer is hell no. Look, Microsoft stunned the masses last generation. They beat the behemoth, which was Sony, in console sales and walloped them in software sales. And they did it despite all that damage control and all that media bias I told you about last generation. It didn't work. Microsoft used those fanboy tears as fuel. And they mocked Sony when they knocked their ass down. And they looked over them and said, you know what, you're going to respect us. And here's the thing. Problem for Microsoft is this, Jed. Guess what? Sony answered the call. And they stepped their game up. Here's the deal. If you slap the shit out of the toughest motherfucker either on the block or in your school, let's say he's in your school. He's been kicking ass all up and down the corner of the boulevard, you know what I'm saying, for years. Even before anybody knew who you was. Let's say you just slap the shit out of him one day and you mock him and embarrass him in front of everybody. You think he's just gonna run off never to be seen before? Hell no, never to be seen again? Hell no. He's gonna wait for the prime time to trick the shit out of you, catch you slipping, cold stomp the dandruff out of your mullet, and toss your little punk ass to the nearest trash receptacle to give you a couple spins down the school hallway. You know what I'm saying? And then that, my friends, is basically what Sony did to Microsoft this generation. You know what I'm saying? Look, Microsoft just was flat-footed. They were not prepared for the onslaught. Sony wasn't playing. They thought because Sony was stunned last generation that they would just stick their tails between their legs and run off somewhere. And honestly, that's because Microsoft is used to throwing its weight around once they start winning in a new sector and they're used to their competition carrying away. But not Sony, not a Japanese company. Despite some of the issues that it's had recently, they've been kicking American ass for a very long time and they love doing it. You know what I'm saying? No way, no how were they just going to turn away and just run off. No, Microsoft didn't understand that. And despite all that, despite all the media bias and whatever that may exist, the media did not tell Microsoft to stop swinging. They decided to do that themselves. So again, to recap, is there media bias? Yes. Is it an excuse for Microsoft this generation? Hell no. Look, gaming is a competitive sport. It is what it is. And as long as you have the most recognized company in this field, which is Sony, always willing to put up a fight, you have to realize there is no charming your way out of this, Microsoft. You need to be ready to fight too, or get prepared to take endless trips at high school receptacles. That's it from your boy MM2K. Hey, look, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think in the comments below. You want more? You know where to catch me. I'm on the corner of every boulevard. Check out my links below to follow me. I do a show called Scram Punks with your boy TRS. It's on hiatus, but check us out on pntsnetwork.com for more information when it's coming back. And we do got some fly episodes out there on iTunes, all one word, Scram Punks. Last but not least, support the Broadband Bullies. Check out that Patreon link. Check out that Discord link. We got that fly gear too. The Cracking is Lacking t-shirts is out there. And as always, you have a wonderful gaming day and enjoy the holidays, baby.